97X, the rock station. We got Adam Lippin with us. He's the CEO of Cuddlist, your website, Cuddlist.com. And Adam, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Adam, you may have one of the strangest businesses on the planet. You really might. And I think you know that. And, well, hey, we're not at all making fun because, honestly, we're all about the money, and apparently you're making a little bit of money, and that's pretty damn cool. By people cuddling. Who would have ever thought that would be something? Now, before we get into this, how did you think this concept up and make it a reality?
Yeah, that's a great question, and thank you. So human connection and human touch is our most basic human need. It's evidenced by science and all sorts of, research and data. Our needs for touch don't change as we get older, but our access to it diminishes. And that creates a condition called skin hunger, which can increase, depression, anxiety, heart disease, et cetera, et cetera. So what I'm doing is I believe that cuddling and non-sexual healing touch is a legitimate healing modality, and that's what I want to offer, and that's what gave me the idea to start this business.
Okay, so you come up with this idea, you go, let's get some people together and cuddle, and it took off.
Yeah, well, it's so basically the concept is that non-sexual touch and two people holding each other in a physical way can be of a true benefit to the client, the person that wants that physical touch. So we've created standards and conditions to make sure the session is safe, the client's needs are being taken care of, at the same time keeping it non-sexual.
Okay, so how do you start this business and make it successful? I mean, you got this out of New York City, correct?
Well, we're all over. I'm in New York City, but we're in New York, Chicago, Dallas,
really?
a whole bunch of markets. Yeah.
I guess I didn't realize you were in so many different markets. Okay, so how do you make this where people, want the desire to do it? I mean, how do you think of it, but how do you convince people this is what they need to do or try?
Yeah, I think in deep down in everyone, we understand the need for human connection. Humans are social beings. We crave connection. It's why we do everything in this world, is we need to have a human connection. If we don't have a human connection, we die, and really bad things can happen. So over 52% of the population, adult population, lives alone now. The rate of marriage is decreasing, and people live alone, and they live alone longer, right? So these people should have access to human touch that people that are married or in long-term relationships have, right? But because in our culture, the only way to get touch is, you find a date, or you maybe act out in a way sexually that you don't want to, because it's the only way you can get any kind of intimacy in your life. So I want to change that, and I want to allow people to have healthy touch in their life if they don't have access to it, or they want a different way to have access to it. And so it's sort of like, if you build it, they will come, has been my experience. I think there's such a deep yearning and intuitive understanding for this type of service that it's just sort of is taking off.
Okay, again, we're talking with Adam Lippin. He's the CEO of Cuddlist.
Okay, the people you employ, what kind of training do your cuddlists receive?
Great question. My partner, Madeline Guinazzo, who's our director of training, is someone who has worked with doctors, med students, nurses in hospital and university settings to help them understand how to work with their clients in a way that's empathetic, compassionate, active listening, and yet not get emotional burnout. So what's really important for our cuddlers, our certified cuddlers, is that they know how to hold the space for another person, intuit from them what exactly they need and how they can be most helpful to that person, and then keep the session in a contained way that it's not going to go out of the boundaries of the service that we offer. So it's a pretty detailed training program. It's quite great. Anyone could just go to our website and go to the Get Certified tab. There's an explanation. There's a video, really detailed information.
Adam, what does this say about me? And I'm being honest here. I'm not a cuddler. I know women like to cuddle. You start dating a girl or your wife, they like to kind of cuddle up. Me, I'm just not that type of guy. Is there a reason, a psychological reasoning behind that, maybe?
Well, men, we don't have enough time to really get into, but men, we're taught from a very early age that we can sort of, we put our mind to it, we can do what we want, and we're sort of the whole definition of masculinity and how boys are raised. So there's a whole historical reason why you may not feel that you need it, I would venture to guess that if you had a session and you just allowed yourself to be present for that session, that you may be surprised as to how it actually makes you feel, and you may access a part of yourself that is so deeply hidden from even your that your consciousness that you don't even know it.
I was wondering, kind of in the same vein along the question about employees, what kind of requirements do your cuddlers have before they even go into training? Is there like a criteria they have to meet?
Well, most of our cuddlers, some people are not employees. They work for themselves, and we provide a website that they can market their services on our site once they go through the training and are certified by us. Most of them, or a good chunk of them, are already healers on some level. They're massage therapists, they're Reiki healers, they do energy work, etc. So most of them have this, or they're social workers, or they have some kind of one-on-one experience working with clients. They understand healing benefits of this, and so basically you have to be empathetic. You have to be able to hold space for someone. You have to have very clear and strong boundaries yourself, and you have to have a desire to sort of do this kind of work.
Okay, now this serious question. And sometimes when you're cuddling with a lady, you're feeling pretty good. What happens if I become, say, aroused during the session? Is it session over immediately? How is that handled?
No, so, we can't necessarily control our attraction and our arousal, but we can control what we do with it and how we handle it. So we're so trained in our culture that if you have a sexual impulse or you get aroused, you have to act on it, and that changes the dynamic, or you have some fear around it, the fact that you are feeling aroused. So what happens is you just sort of, if you need to scooch back an inch or so, you do that. You hold on to the feeling, and the feeling, in a relatively short period of time dissipates, and that sort of energy that's focused there spreads out into all parts of your body and your psyche, and it becomes a really relaxing, beautiful space. And that's sort of the real moment where I think men particularly realize that, there's something really lovely and wonderful and healing about this, that I don't need to act on every instinct I have. Retrain ourselves.
When I first heard about this, I wasn't surprised that men were going to be cuddled by good-looking women. I mean, that didn't shock me. What really shocked me was a couple days ago when I read that women are being cuddled by men. I mean, that was to me an absolute shocker.
Yeah, well, women's lives are very stressful. A lot of our clients, especially in New York and Chicago and some of the larger cities and everywhere, people work really hard. They spend a lot of energy and time caretaking for other people, and sometimes women, just like men, they want to relax, de-stress, unwind, and feel some human connection that can only come through touch. And so,
hey, Adam,
yeah.
Adam, I just want to say thanks for your time this morning. Again, Adam Lippin, the CEO of Cuddlist at Cuddlist.com if you want to check it out. We don't have anything locally where you can go be cuddled today. But, Adam, thanks for your time, and, hey, congratulations on the successful business you got.
Thank you so much, and have a great day.
Thank you, Adam.